All right, I wanted to help you make a smaller isoaxis or moving diamond sculpture. This is the bigger one. This was made on 19 by 7.5 paper, but most of you have, I think, 8 by 12, 9 by 12 paper. You can even use printer paper. You can print this from the template, or you can draw out your own using these measurements. And I have the measurements here. They're a little picky, so make sure you're exact and precise with your measurements. This is set up for about a 10.5 inch by 4.5 inch. So this will fit. Like, this is a piece of printer paper and it fits on there. So instead of 19 by 7.5, it's 10.5 by 4.5. And instead of measuring a 1-inch tab at the top and 3-inch gaps on the back, it's 5/8 inch or 1.5 centimeters, and then you measure 1 5/8 inch or 4.2 centimeters, and then make a line. Now this is dotted on this because that's supposed to be on the back. You're supposed to flip it over when you do that. It says on the reverse side, you make these dots along those lines. And the dots measuring in with a ruler, if you want to do inches, then it's 1 5/8 inch, make a dot, and then don't move your ruler, and then you do 3 5/16 and make a dot on that line. Or you can do 4.2 centimeters for that dot and 8.4 centimeters for that dot. And then for the every other lines, you want to measure 7/8 inch, make a dot, and 2.5 inch, make a dot. Or you can do centimeters, 2.2 centimeters, 6.3 centimeters. So you can make as many as you want. You don't need a printer. If you don't want to trace it from the screen, you can measure and get this all done exact and precise. So I am going to, let me cut out this one. I have one that I made some designs on, and it's one that's already covered with clear plastic, so I decorated it with Sharpie. If you want, you can decorate it with regular pencil or marker or crayon, and then you can always coat it with some plastic to make it stronger, because printer paper is not very strong. So I'm cutting this out. I'm cutting out all those shaded areas. And some of this is extra from my printout, so that's just the tab. The tab does not have to be super precise. The tab is important, and so are these empty half diamonds. They're important too, because they'll help make it stronger so that your sculpture will move easily. Okay, so now I have my cutout design. Now I need to crease all these folds. Now there is the invisible fold that's going through halfway through the diamonds. I actually want that to be creased. I guess I can crease it on the front, but I want it to be folding towards me. And I like to make sure things crease by scoring them. So I'm going to hold up my ruler, and I'm just going to just lightly scratch my project so that it folds on a nice straight line. I barely need to press there, and they call it scoring. You're not scratching like deeply. You don't want to rip your project. You don't want to cut all the way through. And I don't want to make any marks on my dining room table. So I'm just lightly scratching these. I don't think I did the tab. Let me try to do that. So those folds all need to be folded actually towards yourself. So I did these, usually you would do this on the back. And I want these to be folded toward me. And see how they fold really easy because I scratched. Maybe you can even catch the glare on how I scratched the surface of my shiny surface here. Very easily folded. Okay, now I need to fold nice and neatly, so I'm going to score these diagonal lines. I use a ruler and I'm hardly pressing at all. I'm just letting the scissors just make a little scratch that follows my ruler. If you don't think you're being very careful, you don't have to score at all. If you're worried about scratching, ripping your project or scratching your table, then don't score. You don't need to. Let's see, did I get them all? I'll find out soon. Okay, these ones I want to fold away from myself. The diagonal lines go away from me. I don't know if I scored that one. I'm going to try and make this video shorter, so I'm going to pick up the pace. Okay, once you have things all folded, everything has to be folded or it won't build. It won't want to build. It will resist being built. You have to get some tape ready. Right, so it's starting to want to be built because of all of the creases have been smoothly made. Okay, time for some tape. Now I like to get some tape ready. I'm going to get some tape ready on the edge of my display here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I want like 6 pieces ready, especially if you're building this by yourself. You want to have some tape ready. Okay, so I have a piece of tape ready. So I'm going to tuck this one. And then I fold it over. Try and get it to line up. Okay, and then you do the next one. My pieces might be a little bit big. Okay, see how that fits together there, and it should bend. And then you're going to put the next half diamond underneath the one that's sticking out. Tape, tape, and then the next one. Okay, it's moving along smoother now. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those 6 pieces of tape are used. Now it's time for the tab. So I'm going to tuck that tab in there, and you can see how some of it shows. That's why you want to keep your design going a little bit past your tab. So now I'm going to need 2 more pieces. I'm going to get that ready. I need 2 more pieces of tape. I'm going to tuck that tab in. Hard to do. Sometimes if you can get somebody to hold it for you, that can be helpful. So I'm taping that side of my tab, and then I flip it over carefully. Yay, it worked. And I want to tape this side of my tab. And there it goes. Looks like it's working. You got to break it in a little bit. Get those folds, those creases to want to bend. And you've made your moving sculpture. You ready to make a video and turn it in? You see, I was trying to make this design kind of connect. And then when you flip it on the other side, it connects too. So you can make designs that connect or not.